This is about SAR of beta phenyl ethylamine. So what is this ethylamine? So this is the ethylamine moiety. Where it is ethylamine, this is ethyl group and this is amine group. Okay, and at the alpha position we have the hydroxyl group. Sorry, at the beta position we have a phenyl group, and at the alpha position we have the amine group. So this is the beta phenyl, this is the beta position, and this is the alpha substitution. Beta phenyl ethyl amine. Now, so there are four things we have to remember with this structure activity relationship. That is, I think, can you see clearly? So, see this meta position, para position, alpha position, beta position and nitrogen point. So, in other words, meta para hydroxy, beta hydroxy and nitrogen substitution. Okay. So, this is mentioned here, that is, this is the beta hydroxy, this is the beta hydroxy and this is the phenyl group's hydroxy position, meta hydroxy, this is para hydroxy and this is beta hydroxy. Now, this beta hydroxy must be R in nature, so that it is having 100 times more potent than S isomer, 100 times more potent than S isomer, and this hydroxyl group must be present so that it binds with the serine moiety, and that is required. Now, if the bulkiness of the R group is increased, then agonist activity decreases. Agonist activity decreases. So, if R function group is made very big other than H, and if it is CS3 or tertiary butyl, then you will have less agonist activity, and the alpha agonist activity is less and beta agonist activity increases. So, when I say beta here, when I say it is beta here, it is reference to position. When I say agonist activity, beta activity, it is beta receptor. So, you should know the difference. Then the distance between the amino group and phenyl group must be 2 carbon in nature. It must be 2 carbon in nature. So, that is important for alpha adrenergic and beta adrenergic activity. Now, coming to the, see this, if the bulkiness of the nitrogen group is increased, that is what I told, instead of hydrogen, if you take this into CH3 or tertiary butyl group, then the activity is decreasing at alpha, but increasing at beta. Increasing at beta, and see, the norepinephrine is having NH2 group, whereas epinephrine is having CH3 group. So, they have beta activity but less alpha activity, and if the nitrogen is having tertiary butyl group, then beta 2 activity is more and beta 1 activity is less. That is, beta 2 means lungs, beta 1 means heart. So larger substituent retards metabolism. Larger substitution at the nitrogen retards metabolism. So where I am speaking about this larger substitution, it is at this point. It is at this point. Okay. So this is the larger substitution of R, and that brings about the loss of alpha activity but gain of beta activity, and this must be what? Beta hydroxyl group must be R isomer. It must be R isomer, so that it gives higher potency than S isomer. So we shall verify that what it is being given. It must be R isomer. It must be R isomer, and it is more potent than S, 100 times more potent than S. Now coming to the alpha position. If alpha position has R, then decreased activity at both the levels, but increased action time because monoamino oxidation does not destroy the drug. So what I am talking about, the alpha substitution, that we shall see. This is the alpha substitution. This is beta hydroxyl group, and I am talking about alpha substitution at this one. So if there is some substitution here, then the ANS alpha activity and beta activity is decreased. Okay. So alpha substitution increases alpha 2 and beta 2 activity. Okay. Alpha substitution, if the size of the alpha substitution increases, alpha 2 and beta 2 gets selectively modified. Okay. Now we shall see the next part. If there is meta hydroxy substitution, this is the meta hydroxy. This is converted to CH2OH, then activity increased, bioavailability and increased beta activity, beta adrenergic activity, and catechol is important. What is that catechol? This is important. Catechol, adjacent hydroxyl group must be important. If no para-hydroxyl group, then drug is selective at alpha 1 receptor. That means if hydroxyl group is removed, then from this position, then they will have alpha activity. So till now we have seen about the what is that, catechol position to adjacent OH, and the presence of OH is converted to CH2OH, and if there is no para-hydroxyl group, what and all happens. Now with this we move on to the next class of compound, that is imidazolin. So what is the structure of imidazolin? This is N, this is N, H. So this is first nitrogen, this is third nitrogen, fourth and fifth. So all our substitution will be at this second position. Okay. Now what is this given here? All the imidazolins are alpha agonist, and they are non-selective, and they have no activity modification bridge. Single NH2 or CH2 group is enough, and their aromatic nature is so flexible, and that is giving O position similarity like this. Okay. With this we conclude the SAR of beta phenylethylamine and imidazoline